Hi, you guys, and welcome back to Cosmic Tea, where I, your girl Joe, like to sit up here and spill the cosmic tea. I am your favorite Thrive Dealer, Joe, and I am here to spill the cosmic tea. Why? Because I'm not really into 3D drama, and I'm not a gossipy girl. So, when spirit talks, I like to listen, and I want to know if you're listening too. So, let's get into the title, which is alternative ways of grounding. I make several videos for you guys that I believe are more geared for people who are on the beginning journey of their spiritual journey, right? And so there's words or terms that I use or concepts that are being thrown around this internet world that you may not catch up to or may not understand or not being explained fully. And that's where I, your preschool teacher, your spiritual preschool teacher, like to come through and have these little videos for you guys. So let's get into this video specifically. You may or may not know of grounding. Grounding helps with your root chakra and helps balance that out on a spiritual level. Now, on a physical level, it takes, because you know I have my notes, so forgive me for looking down. It takes the negative charged ions in the earth and puts them into your body and takes out the positively charged ions from the body. We as human beings are supposed to be more positively charged. And really what that means is we're neutral. When you hear positively charged, that means neutral. We're supposed to be more negatively charged. My bad. We're supposed to be more negatively charged. And when you hear negatively charged, that's supposed to be more neutral. So because we are in the digital age and the social media age, we're always connected to our phones, computers, laptops, microwaves. We easily become positively charged by the things that we use. So the best way to become neutral or negatively charged is to touch the earth. So that way the exchange of ions can happen and you can become more negatively charged like the earth. Now, you can do that in several ways. The most known way in the spiritual community thus far is by walking barefooted on the ground, and that is correct. But Spirit has been kind of coaching me through grounding and more, and this is what I've come up with. When you do grounding, you definitely want to be outside. Now, it works best if the grass is wet or your feet are wet to help conduct those ions. And one of the things that Spirit really has me focused on right now is the healing powers of the sea. And you will see another video of that, I'm sure, more in depth when Spirit stops talking to me about it. I will give the information to you. But currently, right now, what is happening, hold on a second. Sorry, somebody was at my door. Currently, what is happening right now is that it is very difficult in these times to do grounding, especially if you have an illness like myself. I am struggling with nasal polyps, which is an inflammation in my nasal cavity. Sorry, I had to turn. Somebody was calling. Which is an inflammation in my nasal cavity, which is why I sound nasally a lot of the times. And so, if you have an illness, you need to treat it just like healing, because that's essentially what it is. You don't heal overnight. That's not what happens. It takes some time and it takes levels, it's processes, it's levels to the shift. Okay? It's levels to the shift. And so it doesn't happen overnight, it happens step by step. if you have an illness, you need to now reverse the inflammation that has already taken place. And being in the world today where we have things to do, families to take care of, schools to attend, houses to clean, food to cook, we can always not spend a large amount of time outside grounding. So what I've learned from having nasal polyps, to clear them up, I need to spend at least 8 hours a day for 5 days a week to clear them up. If you have a more severe inflammation, you may have to spend longer, but we just don't have the time. So Spirit has been showing me alternative ways, quicker ways, stronger ways to do that. One of the ways that you can do that, other than just grounding on the regular ground, is to get that ass in some seawater, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, them healing waters. Think about back in the day, or photos or films or pictures or clips, or just images of women, people going to the water for healing. You can even use this analogy like the baptism, like the people baptizing them in the water. Way back in the day, they used to be baptized in open water. And so one of the reasons for that is because the healing, do not underestimate the power of the healing water, y'all. I'm trying to tell you. So I am under the impression that grounding works great on grass. It works even better on wet grass, but it works best in the healing waters. And so what it does is it takes the inflammation out of your body at the speed of light, you guys, at the speed of light. So it's moving fast, okay? And it is taking these ions, positively charged ions, out of your body and getting rid of them. And so some alternative ways other than going to the seawater. So if you can't spend time out in the seawater, what I've decided to do is do like a little experiment. And I've taken some seawater, and I have clips for this. I've taken seawater from the sea, and I'm going to actually put it in my foot spa and see if I can do some grounding like that when I'm at home doing work. Another way that I can think of is taking the sand from the seawater or the dirt from the lake close by, bringing that back home, putting it in a bucket that you can get from Walmart, from Target, from the 99-cent store, and fill it up with the dirt or the sand from the lake water. And put your feet in that if you have to work from home, because I know a lot of times if you're working from home, you need to be connected to a computer, you need to be, plugged up. And so this is an alternative way for you to get, sorry y'all, this is an alternative way for you guys to do what it is you need to do and ground at the same time. So, little recap. 1, take your ass outside. Get outside of that mother nature. 2, make sure your feet are wet. If for some reason you cannot spend a large amount of time outside grounding, find a way to bring in the earth, like the seawater, the lake water, the sand, and the dirt, specifically wet, and bring it inside, put it in a bucket, and put your feet inside of this, or your feet or your hands. Why your feet or your hands? Because you have chakras. I know they're not talked about because in the spiritual world, you only focus on the 7 chakras, but there's more chakras, and your hand and your feet chakras are very important, especially for transmitting, giving, and taking energy. Okay, it's very, very important. So you can take these things inside from outside and be able to ground and not mess up your whole schedule or your day. I also have an understanding that there are foods that you can use to ground. Now, with that being said, I do not know a whole lot about that. I do eat heavier foods to ground myself, but I'm sure that's not what they meant. There's other herbs and spices and things that you can use, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm specifically talking about using the earth and bringing it inside and alternative ways to do grounding. Is that everything? Let me look at my notes. Yes, I think that's everything. The one thing that I want to say is that this may not work for everybody, and you may still need to do it for a long period of time. Remember, this is a healing process. If you are really sick, you're going to need to spend more time in the hospital. If you are not that sick, you can just do 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of grounding outside of the park after or before work on your lunch break. If you are more sick and have manifestations like myself of inflammation, i.e. arthritis, nasal polyps, cancer, things along those lines, you will need to spend a longer amount of time in the hospital on the ground. I don't know why I air quoted that. Anyways, healing. So, that was that. There was my message. As always, I will see you guys back for your next refill of cosmic tea so we can spill the cosmic tea, because I do tarot on here. If you don't know, if this is your very first video seeing me, I do tarot. In the meantime, in between time though, take care of yourself. Why? Because self-love is going to save you every motherfucking time. Okay. As always, I am your favorite vibes dealer, and I will see you back for your next cup of tea, cosmic tea, later. Ciao.